Hey everyone. Yeah, as you can see here, I just got Sonic the Hedgehog issue 268 in the mail today, and it is part 1 of 2 of Ambush. And I have to say it's a decent story, nice continuation of the now Werehog portion of the overall story arc. Um, I like how they got Sonic kind of at first he's kind of a little at first he's kind of like doesn't enjoy the fact that everything he says kind of gets turned around on him uh, by the sage, if you will, by Moss, if you will. He doesn't like how Moss kind of throws. I think that's his name. Throws things, kind of turns things that he says around on him. So it kind of annoys him at first. But yet, Moss basically tells him, "Hey, you gotta, you know." Overall, he tells him, "Look, you may have gone through all these things that you mentioned, but unless you know how to control what the environment around you, you are not going to succeed. You're not going to be uh, oh, sorry about that, finger in front of the thing. You're not going to be um, basically normal again. Or you're not going to have control. You're going to lose control." So Moss is basically helping him out, and again, Sonic at first is not too fond of the fact that things get turned around on him. But later on, thanks to Mighty, kind of accepts the fact that, okay, this is how this guy teaches, and I just got to learn from it. And that's what he does. On the other hand, we have Dr. Eggman um, basically upset with Thunderbolt at the fact that, she failed to kill Sonic and the Freedom Fighters, and basically says, "Hey, you got one more chance. You either secure a Dark Gaia temple and a Chaos Emerald for me, or something like that, or I'll turn you into gloves, whatever. What remains of you, I'll turn you into gloves, or something like that." And then he's kind of like, I guess you could say, regrettable because he no longer has roboticized minions. He's kind of like Eggman's kind of like, basically Eggman's kind of reminiscing of that it was easier when he had roboticized minions because they didn't talk back, didn't make excuses, blah blah blah. But then on the other hand, he does like the threatening because of the character. He does like the threatening of his egg bosses because it's a little bit, it is a little bit more fun. But still, overall, he misses just a yes sir, no sir, uh, servitude of the SWAT bots of the well, not the SWAT bots, but of the robot of people when they're roboticized. Anyway, though, he gets word from Orbot. He basically gets information that does please him from Orbot and Qbot, stating that, hey, positive, from a positive standpoint, you still have control of the planet in some way. That a lot of the guns forces are basically depleted. In other words, they're still out there, but they're not, as strong or as in your face as they should be because they're basically uh, deployed to other parts of the world to uh, try to put some damage control in place. So, so yeah, Eggman's kind of happy to hear that. He's also happy to hear that his egg forces are still are gaining ground, kind of gaining some ground around there. But the only bad thing is their network, the egg net, if you will, is still not up to par as it should be, but it's getting there. He does get information that does please him about the Dark Gaia energy through some schematics that Orbot sends him, and finds out that the Dark Gaia energy is so powerful that just by looking at the chart, it overlaps. You know what? It basically is 10 times more powerful than an emerald or rings or whatever they are combined. And that Eggman looks at it like, hey, if I get my hands on this Dark Gaia energy and find a way to control it for myself, for my Eggman empire, it can run my Eggman empire for a century, if at most. So he goes to work planning on how to make this happen. And, make this happen, which I think right there, with him planning on finding a way to harness this Dark Gaia energy, is what's going to lead us into Worlds Unite, if you will, which is Worlds Collide 2, the second Mega Man uh, Sonic crossover. Worlds Unite is going to basically be based around what we just found out in this issue, with Eggman trying to find a way to secure the Dark Gaia energy. That's basically how we're probably going to get into Worlds Unite. Um, and then, of course, you got the Freedom Fighters, and basically they're having a meeting, and basically Sally informs them, okay, we got 2 emeralds. Knuckles is holding 1 for us, so that basically gives us 3. And Nicole basically has found out that there's another emerald in a desert area close to where they had been attacked before. So at first, Sally, at first it's kind of like, Sally and some of them are kind of like, yeah, we got to get this emerald. But of course, you have some of them, like, let's say, Tails. He's like, well, wait a minute. Shouldn't we wait for Sonic? It'd be easier if we have him. And then, of course, Bunny pops in and says, well, whatever is alien Sonic, maybe this Chaos Emerald, maybe the Chaos Emeralds, once we get them, can not only restore the planet, but can cure Sonic as well. And that's kind of good to hear if that's where they're going. But basically, they plan, the overall, but basically the meeting revolves around getting a 4th emerald, which is the blue Chaos Emerald. So they decide, okay, even though we don't have Sonic, we got to do this. It's probably our only chance. They all agree to do it, and basically they split into teams, I should say, into teams. On one hand, you have Sally saying, okay, Antoine, Bunny, you're with me as Team Freedom. And Team Fighters, yes, they did do this. They did do the Team Freedom, Team Fighters deal. Team Fighters is going to consist of Rotor, Amy, and Tails. So basically, Bunny and Antoine and Sally are Team Freedom. Team Fighters is Rotor, Amy, and Tails. And the reason they're doing this, which pretty much I think gets confirmed later in the story, is just in case the area where the emerald is a trap, just in case they're walking into a trap or something like that. So basically, they split up in 2, kind of like have a backup team to help them out. And of course, you got like a nice little cute moment with Cream and Sally, and Cream's basically asking, what can me and Cheese and Big do? And she says, what you guys need to do is stay here, because right now you don't have the training necessary to go on a mission just yet, especially a mission this dangerous. So that was a nice little moment. Then we go back to Sonic training with Moss and finally adapting, as Moss said, to controlling the environment around him. So basically, Sonic is coming full circle now. And we also get a nice moment between him and Mighty, and maybe a hint that Mighty might start up his own, might be starting up his own faction of freedom fighters, along with him, Ray, Moss, and whoever else that is students of Moss. If you get what I'm saying. So basically, we have that nice little moment, and then of course the sun goes down, and this is Sonic's big challenge. Can he control the beast within? So basically, the sun goes down, and Sonic goes Werehog again, but this time he informs everybody, hey, I got it now. I can control it. It feels different having claws and fangs and all that, but I control it now. I've got it now. It's under control. So basically, he asks Moss if he wants to do another race again, have a rematch from the race earlier. Moss agrees to do it. But what they don't know is they have Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt has a henchman spying on them. And basically, Thunderbolt has this big old thing, kind of like a big old electronic zapper or whatever it is, kind of like electronic ion, if you will, that she's hoping, hey, if I got him mad with what I did to him, then this is going to do him in. So she's got this big old device that will basically amplify maybe her her thunderbolts, if you will, beyond what she hit Sonic with previously. And then, of course, we end up going to the desert area where the Freedom Fighters are, where Team Freedom is, Sally, Antoine, and Bunny. And basically everything looks, quiet, secure and all that. But Sally still feels that this is nothing more, still feels in her gut that this is nothing more than a blatant trap. But it's the only chance. This is the only shot. So basically they proceed to go for the emerald, and basically, even though Sally feels this is nothing more than a trap, they proceed to go for the blue Chaos Emerald, and that is when they're attacked by not one, not two, but three E-Gamma robots. And, E-100 robots, so E-Gamma 100 robots. A flying one with drill arms, and one that's basically an E-100 Gamma. So basically that's how the issue ends, with them being ambushed, if you will. And Sally basically says it was a trap. As soon as it happened, Sally's like, it was a trap. Basically, Sally, as soon as they get attacked, she declares it was a trap. So basically that's how the issue ends, with them being ambushed, as the title of the story goes. Overall, it's a decent continuation of the Werehog portion of the arc, of the overall story arc. Decent continuation, nice character development for Sonic in a sense. We kind of got some hints, here and there, of what's to come in future issues, especially maybe as far as Worlds Unite is concerned. We find out that perhaps Eggman wanted to tap into the Dark Gaia energies, is going to lead us into the Worlds Unite crossover. So that kind of hinted us probably at that. We also got a hint at paste it up there right now. But we also got a hint like I was saying, we also got a hint basically at Mighty maybe starting his own Freedom Fighter group in the future. So that was good. And yeah, just an overall decent continuation of the Werehog portion of the overall story arc. What do I see for part 2? Well, I think we're going to see Team Fighters come into play, because maybe this is what Sally wants. The fact that she knew it was going to be a trap, or felt it was going to be a trap, and even though they were attacked, that she's going to initialize and get Team Fighters into the action. We will have Sonic in Werehog form show up, possibly after he deals with Thunderbolt, and maybe through Thunderbolt's mishaps, kind of help defeat the E-Gamma robots. And Eggman will basically kind of see the threat now that Sonic is in Werehog form. So overall, decent. Like I said, I know I sound like I'm repeating myself, but decent overall issue. I'd give it an 8 out of 10 maybe, just to give it a quick read. And really, that's all I have to say on it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And comment down below. and I'll talk to y'all later.